Hello dance business people, my name is Angela Fayth and I'm from Energia Studios. In this video today, I'm going to show you how to create a meeting on Zoom so that you can get your dance classes online as quickly as possible. If you find this video helpful today, subscribe here or here. I'm not exactly sure where the subscribe button is. I'm going to be creating many more videos in the groups that I've been a part of. There's heaps of questions regarding Zoom. So I'm going to make videos for any of the questions. So having said that, if you have any more questions, make sure you write the questions below. And let's get your classes happening online. Have a look here. Okay, now I'm going to open up the Zoom app. I much prefer the Zoom app as opposed to using Zoom on a browser. It's so much easier to navigate. Now, if it opens onto a screen that is not your home screen, you can click this arrow here, not arrow, what do you call that? A cross. And you can create your event from here or click on the home screen. Now we're going to work from this one today. First, on the right-hand column, you're going to see what classes you have today, but we're going to focus on the left-hand column because we're going to create a new class in our Zoom. Now the new meeting is if you want to start a meeting or a class right now and send the link and have the class happen immediately. Usually that's not the one that we're going for. Now the next thing that you're going to look at is join. This we're going to discuss later as we get in. We're not going to worry about that right now. Share screen, that's pretty self-explanatory. That'll be when we're in a meeting to be able to share screens. And schedule, that's the one we're going to hit now. So when you hit the schedule, it's going to ask for your topic. So let's say we're having a adults ballet class. It's going to happen today. It's going to happen at 7:30. It's actually going to go for an hour, not half an hour. Is it the right time zone? Yes. If it's a reoccurring class, you can definitely click the reoccurring. However, I like to set all of my classes up in the week rather than set them as reoccurring. I don't know why, that's just how I like to do it. I think I like to have that little bit more control. Then the meeting ID, I just leave as generate automatically. When it comes to the password here, the password, I don't worry about having that clicked because for me personally, my students buy their classes and then once they've bought them, then I send them the link. However, if you are sending, let's say that you're sending a really generic thing out for marketing purposes and you say, join this, join the class, it's just this much, then maybe you click a password and you send them the password after they've paid or something like that. Potentially if you're doing classes for kids as well, let's remember that I run an adults dance school. So it's a little bit different in terms of what I need to be thinking about. But if you have a kids dance school, perhaps the required meeting password is good to make sure that you're only getting the parents and children that are right for those particular classes signing in. Then for the video, we definitely want the host video on so that they can see what you're doing. After that, the participant, I always have the student's video turned on from here. As adults, they can decide if they want to have their video switched off. Obviously, if they have their video switched off, you can't see them to be able to give feedback. And what I personally love about this platform for dance classes, particularly right now, is that I can give my students valuable feedback as opposed to something like a Facebook Live where they're just watching you. Next, audio. Nobody is calling in to listen to their dance class, so don't worry about the telephone. The computer audio is what we're going to be clicking, and also don't click telephone and computer audio. The reason for this is if you click this one, it's going to give the invite heaps of different telephone number options and it just gets confusing, so don't worry about that. The calendar is how it's going to place the event in either of your calendars or any of your calendars. So I run from a Mac, so iCal it is. And with the advanced options, I click enable join before host. For me personally, the reason that I like to do that is I have 3 classes of back to back to back. So for example, on a Monday night, I teach beginner salsa 6:30, improver salsa 7:30, and intermediate salsa 8:30. And I finish one class, go straight to the next. With enable join before host, what it means is that your students who were not in the class before they can already be in there. They can have a chat or whatever. Any teachers that are teaching the class with you, they can go in. And it also means that you can have other people running the classes from that link and not have you necessarily there. Mute participants on entry. I don't click that. The reason I don't click that is because I like to have a chat. I like to see how people are going. I like to see where they're at. But it's up to you. If you don't want them to be able to talk from straight away. The other thing is that once you've opened up the class, you can turn everybody on mute, or you can ask them to turn themselves on mute. So I don't really think it's necessary. Then only authenticated users can join. Right now we're not going to worry about that. Lastly, automatically record meetings. So many of you have asked about this. In regards to the meeting recording, if you're on a laptop, you can record and it'll download onto the laptop. However, if you're on an iPad or a phone, which it's fine, you can use these devices. The important thing is that you get going in the cloud. Now for me, I don't pay for extra storage in the cloud, so I don't have much cloud. And that's part of why I also use my laptop. But I also don't really like to record my meetings, my classes, seeing all the students, because I don't want them to feel uncomfortable and I don't want them to feel like I'm going to use those for marketing. I always ask my students, do you mind if I film this? Do you mind if I take a photo here? Whatever. Now for kids dance classes, if you run a kids dance school, I would definitely be looking to see what the legalities are around that. For some, it might be better that you're recording so that you have everything on file. Or it might be that you shouldn't be recording. I don't know. You'll have to chat to your lawyer. Then in terms of alternative hosts, if I have somebody who's teaching with me or teaching for me, I can put their name in for the alternative host. And that way they have full rights, the same as what you have. So for example, if I want to turn everyone onto mute, they can do that as well. Or if like music and things like that, works really well from there. Then we're going to click the blue button down the bottom right hand corner, schedule. Now it's going to show everything that I have for this day. Oh, it's asking to put in my calendar. No thanks, mate. All right. It's going to ask if I want to use it from here. Now the reason that I want to go into the meeting is to send the invite to my students. I can do it from here, copy invitation, but I want to show you from here, meetings up the top. So when I click meetings and I find all the classes that I have scheduled, I click the one that I want, copy invitation. From here, what I'm going to do is however you communicate with your student. So for me, I'm going to send this particular link via email. So let's get the email open. I'm going to create a new email. So I'm going to send it to myself. Class links. So I'll say, hey Angela, here's the links to your classes. Then I copy and paste. These parts here, they're the most important part. These parts here, not so important. You can have them or you don't have to have them, completely up to you. So once I send this email, this part here is going to become a hyperlink so they can click straight away. Now, do you remember that I said in the app, there is a part that says join? The join, if I was to click that, I could put in these numbers here and come in just for the numbers. So for if any reason that hyperlink doesn't work for your students, you can click that, or they can click that, sorry. So I send the email and I wait for them to show up in class. Here is our hyperlink. So if I just click that hyperlink, open Zoom. So this is my app now, it's sending it to. And now you can see we're in the meeting. So that's how you schedule your meetings, dance classes, online so that you can then send your students the link, they can join the meeting, and so you can begin your meeting without any hassle. I really recommend creating the meetings a long time in advance so that way you're not fussing about just before class. If you have any questions, remember, do write them below and I will do my best to answer them. If you found this really helpful or even a little bit helpful, just click subscribe. I don't know if it's going to be here or here. It's going to be somewhere. Wishing you all the positive energy that there is, and I hope that you and your families are safe. I will see you in the next video.